for Bizbiz and the Unstoppable Success team. I just wanted to say hello. Just wanted you guys to bear with us just a little bit. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties as this is our first live hangout, the Unstoppable Success team. And we're looking for some of our leaders to come on board. For whatever reason, there is just a little bit of technical difficulty. So we're hoping that our leaders do get on board. But I just wanted to welcome you to our first live hangout with the Unstoppable Success team and the BizBiz Founders Group. Once again, we just want to talk a little bit about what our group is all about and what the Bizbiz.mobi team is all about and what the Ubiz mobile app is all about. The Ubiz mobile app was launched as a soft launch on December 9th, so just about 6 months ago. And in that 6 months, the Ubiz mobile app is now in approximately 97 countries. It also is usable in 36 different languages. So very, very phenomenal app. The Ubiz mobile app allows businesses to broadcast their specials, their messages, and any offers that they have via text messages by way on their phones to any cell phone, actually any cell phone, in the entire world that likes their business. So it does it by a push notification. So very, very useful tool. Does it without any additional cost to their business at a low cost of only 8 cents a day. That's right, 8 cents a day, only $30 a year. So what more how much more of a use can that be, or how great of a use can that be for a business to have a fantastic use of advertising for only 8 cents a day? I mean, typically businesses are out there spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on advertising in publications such as Price Shoppers, Penny Savers, Valpaks, and various advertisings in print that they're spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And our people are out there with the Ubiz mobile app, getting it out to any cell phone within a 6.25 mile radius of where their business is at, and allowing them to change their ad on a daily basis and send push notifications to all of their customers and any potential customers within that 6.25 mile radius. And actually the push notification goes into any place, not within that 6.25 mile radius, and they can change that every single day. So that's basically where the Ubiz mobile app is working. And I hope that's a quick explanation. Like I said, we're going to be kind of short on some of the things because we wanted you to introduce and get introduced to our leadership group. As I said, there's a little bit of technical difficulties on a couple of the people getting on board this evening. So we're going to be a little short on this hangout. We're going to actually definitely do a follow-up hangout in the next couple of days, so you can see some of the leaders and meet some of the leaders. What we want you to be able to do is put a face to the name and a face to who's been out there and what we've been doing and how we've been working the business for the past few months, few weeks, and whatnot, and know how we're doing this and how we can help you build your Bizbiz.mobi business and put more people on the Ubiz mobile app. Tonight, we're going to have Alan Hagel, Joe Maripodi, Francis Caldwell, and Charles Massey, as well as Edward Elam on board, and David Bass. As I said, for whatever reason, there's a few technical glitches of them getting onto the hangout.
We're still working on those, so just hang in there.
We're still working on our people. All right. Joe's furiously working on getting Alan Hagel on board and helping, so we can we can get you guys to see Alan Hagel, who's out there furiously working BizBiz every single day. He's doing meetings upon meetings. As Alan says, more meetings means more money. One of Alan's famous sayings. Let me tell you a little bit about why we're doing it. I can tell you a little bit about myself, and then we'll pull in Joe Maripodi and go from there. I was actually introduced to Bizbiz.mobi from a acquaintance of mine that turns out I have actually known off and on and ran into about 18 years ago by a guy by the name of David Bass, who we were hoping to have on as well, who is one of the best network marketers I've ever seen in my life. David Bass, actually, I met at a network marketing meeting and a motivational seminar that we were both attending back a little over a year and a couple months ago. And I was in another business. David was doing something else, and of course, we both tried to get each other into each other's business. But we sat and talked. We had some things in common. I really enjoyed David's company, and we kept in touch. And then in November, David gave me a call and said, "Hey, you know what? Hey, Howard, how you doing? How things going?" And I had some things that to be in transition a little bit. In another business I was doing, still going, pretty well. But David said, take a look at this. I have a video I want you to take a look at. And he told me a little bit of story about a guy by the name of Frank Varon, who now is our CEO of the company. But tells me about this guy by the name of Frank Varon. Says, this guy is was former CEO of Wall Street of 9 companies. And I said, impressive. And he tells me, this guy was into acquisitions and mergers of companies, and took companies that were troubled, turns them around and sells them, for a good profit. And the last company that he was involved in, that he was a partner in, he turned it around and sold it to a CLEC. That's a Mobile company back in San Diego about 16 years ago. He sold this company for upwards of over $50 million was his profit of the company. I was just impressive, thinking, wow, a guy that can do that is an impressive guy. I'd love to meet him. And, and the guy retired, didn't have to work again. And I said, that's pretty impressive guy. Well, he tells me that, the guy actually was pulled into network marketing, didn't want to ever get into network marketing, but was pulled into network marketing by a relative that told him he should look at a company. And he takes a look at this company, and he talks to this guy that's involved in the company. He was in communications. Obviously, Frank was in communications, sold his company to CLEC. And he takes a look at this. He talks to this guy, and then within 5 minutes of the conversation, Frank decides this guy knows nothing about telecommunications, but knows about network marketing. But Frank has never been in network marketing, not interested in network marketing. But so he's thinking, I got to get out of this conversation. And in exiting the conversation, asks the guy, how well is he doing? The guy tells him, I'm making $47,000 a month. Well, Frank thinks it's a pretty impressive amount of money. So Frank says, you know what? I'm going to take a look at network marketing. So he decides to take a look at it, takes 20 of his former employees and gets involved, tells them that we're probably going to lose whatever we're going to do, but I'm going to get involved, walks into the company, and as it's on its downturn, takes those 20, brings it to Montreal, which is where Frank was originally from, and turns 20 into 120,000 and turns a profit into his pocket of over approximately $7 million. Why am I telling you this? Is because here's a guy that didn't want to get into network marketing, that didn't think it was worth his while, but he was a businessman and saw an opportunity and took it and ran with it and turned a profit. The thing was this company, once again, was telecommunications. Telecommunications changed, the industry changed. It was long distance, and he moved on into another company, which is health and wellness. And that company, the health and wellness industry changed and what he did was in a 42-month period, basically made $3.4 million, or basically almost $1 million a year in that company. Why am I telling you this once again? Is because what I saw Frank Varon, and I saw his character, and I saw a person, and what it did was allow me to understand who the person was. And when you're looking at a company, you want to look at management, you want to look at who's involved. And I saw Frank Varon. As it turned out, Frank Varon, I learned that he only lived a mile from my house. And David Bass called me again one day and said, hey, I'm going down the street. It turned out the street he was going down was a street I happened to be on at the same time. And I asked him where he was going, and he says, I'm going to meet Frank Varon, and where they were going to meet happened to be at a restaurant that was at the foot of the development I lived at. So, things were meant to be. And so went, sat with them all, had a meeting, got to actually finally meet Frank, who had only lived a little, mile and a half from my house. And it all turned out that I saw the opportunity. I had watched the videos. Things looked for the greatest. And at this point, I joined the company, and we had a great partnership. In the midst of all this, prior to this, Frank had been offered the opportunity once again because Bizbiz.mobi was looking for a CEO. They offered Frank that CEO position. Frank said, I want to do it my way, and they offered him the opportunity to do it his way. And so what we're doing is we're with a company that a guy that knows how to be a CEO is now taking the reins and has been taking the reins and doing it his way. And so that's that's where we're at. And since that point in time, I've been involved in this company. I've been full force, and my heart and soul has been in it. And this is where we're at. And so, this is Bizbiz.mobi. And what we do is we sell a mobile app called Ubiz. And Ubiz helps businesses, as I said before, advertise their business and brings it to them. How I've been doing it, what I love the most about it is the fact that whether you recruit people into this business and whether you ask people to join you, which is obviously one way that we can make money and one way to make money in network marketing, or not. And some people decide, what, I'm not very good at bringing people into the business. And that's okay too, because that's what's attractive about this business, because we have a product that allows you to make money outside of bringing people into the business. Because we have people like Joe Maripoti, who you're going to meet in a second, who does both. But what Joe Maripoti does is goes out there, just as I do, and sells a product on a day-to-day basis and puts cash money in his pocket day to day to day, whether he's recruiting people into this business or not, because there's a great way that we can turn profit in this business by the product that we have with very, very little resistance. And that's the greatest part about this company, is that we have 3 offers. We have an offer for somebody to join us as a business partner. We have an offer for somebody to buy our product and put cash money in our pocket on a regular basis. And the third offer is to get free customers that download our mobile app and get a contact in that. And they can use that mobile app to get specials, offers, and discounts in their local merchants. And then we help that local merchants on the back end stay in business, which is local business. And those local businesses help feed our economy on a regular basis. And that's what makes this business so great. So with that being said, I want to introduce you guys to one of our partners, which is Joe Maripoti. Joe is in Long Island, New York. And when he came on board, he was asking me a lot of questions, and now I probably could ask him a lot of questions. So I want to turn it over to Joe.
Hang on 1 second. We have a crazy house here.
Well, we all have crazy houses, and that's one of the things that's so fun about these businesses. We work from home. We have our life that we live, and we can live it on a regular basis and still make money. So let me turn it over to Joe Maripoti. Joe, tell us about what you're doing and how you're running your business and how your business become a family business.
Well, yeah, Howard, excuse me. Yeah, you did help me when I first started. I remember texting you and calling you, and probably drove you crazy for a couple of days. But after I figured out what I was doing, and I figured out that not making the business so complicated, it's just been a lot of fun. And one of the things that I've done is I've brought in 2 of my kids, and myself, and now my wife is even. Here's one of them right here, my oldest right there. She did her first couple of sales on her own, and she's excited about it, and she's ready to take it to the next level. But what I do is for the first couple of weeks after Alan contacted me and got me started, I kind of was lost. Obviously, had no idea what I was doing. I was trying to get real complicated. And when I really started to simplify everything and just, go out there and just talk to the merchants in the store and the business people, and all of a sudden it just started to click. And then I got the idea that, maybe if I go in there with their ad already produced, and created on the phone, and I don't show it to them at first. What I do is I actually go in, I explain to them that we have a brand new app that we're introducing to the marketplace. It started in December, and we've already gone into 98 countries, and it's created by even though it's a new app, it's not a new company, it's not a startup company. I show them the 3-minute video, 2.5 minutes, whatever it is. And after it's over and they see, it's only $30 for the year. Then I say, well, let me show you what I did for you. I created a sample video, a sample ad for you to check out about your business. And so far, I'm up to about close to 60 ads right now done. and I've had resistance from none. So, you know, almost just about 100% success rate on creating the ads and showing the merchants and then taking it. So it's been fun. I go out every day. You know, I've also been sponsoring people. We put like, I don't know, I think 7 people in the last week or two. But it's been a lot of fun, and the merchants, you know, love it. And one of the things that I like about it is that while you're building a business and while you're building a team, you're out there making money every single day in your pocket. So, you know, when you join the business for the 145 or the 435, you literally can make your money back that day if you pay attention and do what your upline or your sponsors or whoever tell you what to do. You can make your money back instantly, and that's what I did.
So Joe, let me put that in perspective for these people. You said you've gone out, sold 60 ads approximately. So let's just put that number at 60 just for easy math purposes. And let's put it in perspective for the people that are watching this that may not be familiar with what we're talking about. If you put 60 ads, that's how much are you collecting per ad?
$100.
$100. So 60 ads, simple math, $6,000, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, $6,000. How much is your cost per ad?
It's what is it? $8, I believe. Yeah.
$8.70.
Yeah.
Okay, $8.70.
Yeah.
So at $8.70, you're basically at a $92 profit per ad, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
$92 profit per ad. So if you guys are listening out there, this guy's knocking down a $92 profit every time he walks into a business. $92.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is paying you on that aspect that we got out there in the marketplace that's going to pay you $92 every time you're walking into a business. Next question. How long does it take you to produce an ad?
It takes me about 10 to 15 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes. So if you take 15, just if you call it 15 minutes, and let's just round it up. Let's round it down. Let's call it $90. Round it down. 15 minutes, $90. So 90 times 4 $540 an hour, right?
Not so bad, huh?
Pretty good.
That's like heart surgeon money, you know.
So $540 an hour, and pretty damn amazing on that aspect. And so I mean, it's just kind of staggering. I mean, I don't know how many people are making $540 an hour. Like I said, heart surgeon. So on something that I was out today with a guy Clyde Oakley, and matter of fact, he was just calling me, which I probably should answer, but he's got his kids doing it, making ads. Okay, his kids are in middle school, making ads.
Sure.
So that just so on what we're talking on perspective here is that we're talking about how simple is that? Middle school kids being able to produce an ad and making money that. So here it is, guys. You're talking about Geico used to say so simple a caveman can do it, but Joe's out here $6,000. How many weeks has this been? How long has it been since you've been doing this?
I'm sorry, my dog's barking. Say that again.
How many weeks has it been since you've been doing this now?
Well, I actually joined on February 11th, which is my birthday, and I didn't do anything. Oh my God, guys! I have air conditioning repair guys here at the same time, so it's a little crazy. Hold on 1 second, guys. They need me. I'll be right with you. I'm so sorry. Okay, Howard, I'm sorry, I'm back. Um,
So,
so I got started on February 11th, and I really didn't do anything probably until March 11th. You know, I was involved in some other things, and I was kind of just sitting back and keeping an eye on things, but not really focusing on it until one day I just got tired of Alan texting me for different phone calls and stuff. And I decided to listen in on one of the calls, and that's what turned me around. So really, it's about probably 6 weeks that I'm actually really uh, focusing on it and working it.
right. So, basically, you're out there, um, didn't do anything at first, and then now you're realizing that, it's working for you. You got it going, and it's a profitable thing just by going out there. $8.70, and you know, and and now it's working. So fantastic,
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's totally working. And one thing that helps me become successful at what I do is that I go in prepared. When I go and I see a merchant, if there's only one merchant in that area, I will create ads for nearby ones so that you're not going in there and theirs is the only one in your phone. So when they look, I'm saying, oh, look here, this guy up the block and this guy here, even if they're not even on yet, even if they haven't even seen the app yet, when I go into that store, they're seeing a bunch of their competitors and local people around. So I go in there prepared. I never go in, not knowing. I also look and I see who's advertising, who's in the penny savers, who's in, who has Facebook pages, and those are the people that get it. If you go to a some kind of an old mom and pop guy who's 75, 80 years old and has a flip phone, and he's not going to go for it because he has no clue. But if you look at somebody's website and it has Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and all this stuff, they get it. So those are the people that I try to target.
All right. So you're taking the path of least resistance, which obviously makes sense.
Absolutely.
It's the way that, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, I would rather swim through clear water than swim in a cesspool. So, I mean, it just I mean, it makes sense on the way to go, and I have to agree with that, with that theory. Uh, you know, just easier to go with somebody that's, on board. I do the same thing. Some of the things that I'm teaching people as well is, I'll give an example right now. I don't know if my screen's up. Yes, no, possibly. But some of the things I do, obviously, I'll show people something like this, okay, and show them, I'll look for a company that's in one of these things, and and I'll look at an ad like this right here, and typically someone's going in one of these ads, they're spending $350 for a month for an ad like that, and when they're in something like that, if they're open to an ad like that, they're typically open to what we do, and I'll go in and I'll show them. Sometimes I'll even go and show them their ad, and I'll say, here's your ad. I know you've been advertising like that, and I know you spend a lot of money. I'd like to help you stop spending so much money. So I mean, that's one of the ways that I'll speak to somebody and they realize that I'm open to helping them. And one of the other reasons why I like this business so much is because it allows us to help other people. And that's something that Jim Rohn said a long time ago. And obviously Jim Rohn's passed away at this point, but if you want to get what you want, you'll help a lot of other people get what they want. And that's the easiest way of doing it is what this business is all about, is that we're giving so many people something of value, and it gives us back value. Whether it happens to be a mobile app for $30 a year, we're servicing that app for another 69, or we're giving a whole mess of people, like today. I was out with Cled Oakley. And we actually had, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 people just in a couple of different businesses that we got to download the app, that we're giving them the opportunity to go get specials, offers, and and discounts at various businesses in their local market for free, because they have that free app. So that gives other people what they want, and that's a tremendous value that we give in this app. And more people need to understand that this is a service that we're giving them for free. And that's the tremendous thing that we're able to bring to the marketplace, is something that we're doing for people for free. And and then some people start asking, hey, how did you do that? How was that possible that you're doing this? And then we show them, and it brings them right back to selling ads. Or they'll say, hey, our business should have this. Yeah, you're right, you should. So there's lots of ways that we're able to give away stuff on one of these things. When we pull it up and we show them, and we go through the app, it works pretty well. So like I said, I didn't want to be long-winded. I thought we'd have, I was looking, there's a couple of people just, for whatever reason, they're having trouble getting on. I don't know why they're having so much trouble getting on. We're going to make sure everybody's registered for the next Hangout, and we'll make it a lot easier for them to be onto the Hangout on the next time. But obviously this one's going to be recorded, so people can watch it on the website on successwithubiz.com/user equals whatever username that you have. And you can broadcast it and obviously promote it from there for anybody who is already in Bizbiz.mobi, and use the links below, which are below right here, so you can actually promote it. And if people want to join our business, you can promote it from those links. If you want more information, there's obviously an information link as well on there. And of course, if you guys are interested, that you're watching it, you're interested in an ad, there's an ad link there as well, where you can click the link and register to ask about getting an ad. If you guys want to become on our mail list to find out when more Hangouts are, that is there too. So there's a whole bunch of information on this website that you're watching, and I hope this has been informative to you guys, and we hope to have more Hangouts and more people on the Hangouts. I do apologize for not having more of our leaders on here tonight. We definitely will make sure that we have a full panel on our next Hangout. Joe has been great, and Joe's having fantastic success with Bizbiz.mobi and the Ubiz mobile app, and the Unstoppable Success team that we're having here. And the team is going to continue to grow. We are going, obviously we're mobile, we're global, we're in, as I said, I believe 97 countries, and we're as we continue to tell people about it, we're going viral. So I don't know if Joe wants to add anything else, but I'll open up the floor to him to if he wants to ask me any questions or he wants to add anything. I'll give him the last comment for that, and we'll move on from there. Joe? You with me? Joe, do you have anything last to say?
I'm sorry, man. You had an air conditioning guy talking to me at the same time. They're trying to fix my system. No, you covered it great. Really, it's just something that it's a lot of fun, and if you keep it simple, there's a lot of money to be made. So that's really what I have to say.
All right, fantastic. And like I said, and that's the one thing that's really important that you did mention is fun. And if you're doing something right now that you're not having fun doing, I think you really need to reevaluate what you're doing, because Alan, for example, always is having fun when he's out there working. Today we're out there having fun, and then really the key to doing that's Joe's out there smiling right now, and the key to doing what we do is to always have fun with what you're doing, because why go out there and do what you do if what you're doing isn't fun and while doing so. I try to always have fun at what I do. It's just really not a good thing to be in a position, being in a job where it's just not fun. And so I hope everybody has once again enjoyed the broadcast. I apologize for not having the couple of other people on here that we wanted to have on here. And I do hope that you look forward to our next broadcast, which will be very, very shortly. If it's not the next day or two, definitely by next Tuesday, we'll have another broadcast with our team leaders on once again. And now you guys have a fantastic evening. And as we say in the Mobi and the Bizbiz.mobi business, what do we say, Joe? Get off your apps.
Your app.
That's right. All right, guys, have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it, man.